You want to make him forget the world? Don't rush. Don't undress. Just kiss, but not like everyone else does, because the right kiss, done the right way, can rewrite his entire nervous system. These 5 kisses don't lead to the main act. They are the act. And when you master them, he won't want to leave your arms, ever. Foreplay isn't a warm-up, it's the moment that defines everything that comes next. And when you kiss with intention, presence, and purpose, you don't just arouse, you anchor. In this video, you'll learn 5 powerful kissing techniques that turn time into tension and touch into tormenting pleasure. Make him crave the moment, not just the climax. There's a kind of kiss that doesn't happen on the lips, at least not right away. It's the kind of kiss that lives in the air between 2 people, where tension is thicker than touch and desire builds without release. This is the delayed mouth kiss, and it's far more powerful than most women realize. It isn't about diving in, it's about holding back. It's about standing on the edge of connection and letting him feel the weight of your presence without the satisfaction of immediate contact. Do you want to awaken something deeper in him? Start here, almost kissing him. That's right, just almost. As you bring your face near his, do it slowly, intentionally, like you're moving through water. Let your breath mix with his. Let your eyes lock, not with intensity, but with certainty. In that space, you say everything without a word. I'm not in a rush. I'm not here to prove anything. I'm here to feel everything. That pause before your lips meet his is where the fire starts. It's in that inch of space where nothing has happened, yet everything is alive. Men live for this. Not because they understand it logically, but because their bodies respond to it instinctively. It pulls them out of their heads and into their senses. It makes them present, and that's the beginning of true connection. Not performance, not motion, but presence. As your lips hover over his, don't just focus on him. Focus on you, on the rhythm of your breath, on the feeling of power rising in you from waiting, from knowing you don't have to rush. That self-possession is magnetic. It tells him, I'm not here to be taken. I'm here to invite. When you take your time, when you don't hand over your kiss like it's expected, you turn the kiss into a gift, and every man, whether he admits it or not, craves a woman whose affection feels earned, not auto. When you finally move in closer, don't go straight for the lips. Let your mouth brush against the corner of his. Let it pass near, maybe graze lightly against the skin around his mouth, or rest for a moment against his cheek. The idea here isn't to finish the kiss. It's to make every moment leading up to it feel like it could be the kiss. That keeps his nerves awake, his mind spinning, his hands still, because now he's waiting for you. You flipped the script. The kiss isn't his to take, it's yours to give, on your timing, your terms. What most people never realize is that the space between touches is just as important as the touch itself. That space is where you create anticipation, and anticipation is what transforms a kiss from something physical into something spiritual. It becomes less about lips and more about longing, less about action and more about attention. This is the kind of moment that lives in his memory long after the night is over. Because you didn't just kiss him, you made him feel wanted before a single kiss landed. The delayed mouth kiss also shows confidence. You're not nervously pecking or eagerly pressing. You're in control of time, of energy, of temperature. That calm, slow approach tells him you are a woman who knows the power of her presence. That changes the entire dynamic. It's not about seduction anymore, it's about influence, command, magnetic tension. And trust me, no man forgets that kind of kiss. He may not even be able to explain why it shook him, but he'll feel it deep in his chest, in his hands, in his gut. And here's the secret. You can bring this energy into any moment. Whether you're standing in the kitchen, sitting beside him on the couch, or dancing in the dark, when you lean in soft, slow, and deliberate, you show him that foreplay isn't about getting to the next thing. It is the thing. That moment before the kiss becomes more sacred than the kiss itself. That's where the emotional bond forms. That's where the heat builds. That's where you show him that intimacy isn't a sprint, it's a pull. A slow gravity between two people who know how to wait, who know how to savor. So don't underestimate the space before the kiss. Don't race through it like it's an obstacle. Lean into it, stretch it out, let it simmer, let him feel every second of your restraint. Because the woman who can hold back, who can delay the gratification of a kiss, is the woman who owns the room, the rhythm, and the man. She's unforgettable, not because she said something clever, but because she said nothing at all and yet made him feel everything. The jawline isn't just bone and skin, it's a map of masculinity. It's where tension gathers, where strength is defined, where identity is etched in quiet boldness. When you kiss a man's jawline, you're not just touching him, you're witnessing him. You're acknowledging the man he has built himself to be. And when it's done right, with slowness and intention, that kiss doesn't just arouse, it honors. It tells him, without saying a word, I see you, not just your body, but the man behind it. Start with presence. Bring your lips to the side of his face, not his mouth, and let them linger near the edge of his cheek. Breathe him in. Slow everything down. Then trace your mouth downward, inch by inch, toward his jaw. Don't rush. Let him feel the gravity of every millimeter. This isn't about seduction alone. This is about recognition. It's the kiss that says, I know where your strength lives and I'm not afraid to touch it. Men carry their weight in the jaw. That's where they hold silence, where they clench during frustration, where they grind through stress. It's not just skin, it's a symbol of endurance. When your lips touch there, you're meeting him where he holds his unspoken struggles. And if your kiss is gentle, respectful, and steady, you're telling him, you don't have to hold it all alone tonight. And here's the truth, most women never kiss a man there, not really. They rush past it, aiming for lips or neck. But when you stop at the jawline, when you treat it like sacred ground, you break through something deeply embedded in his masculinity. You make him feel not just wanted, but valued, desired as he is, not for what he can give or do. This is where a man starts to soften, not out of weakness, but from finally feeling seen. As your lips move along the edge of his jaw, up toward the ear, down toward the throat, you are painting a line of appreciation with every touch. You're not taking from him. You're giving him something most men are starved for. Feminine attention that's not transactional, not mechanical, but reverent. That kiss says, you don't need to perform right now. You're enough, just as you are. And he'll feel it. He may not show it, but inside, that kiss will disarm him. It'll unravel the armor. Because when a woman gives attention to the parts of him that don't usually receive it, something primal inside him stirs. Not lust, loyalty, not excitement, devotion. You're awakening not just the man in him, but the protector, the provider, the grounded masculine that wants to rise for a woman who sees him. When done with presence, the jawline kiss is also incredibly erotic. It sends sparks along his nerves. Why? Because it's unexpected, it's slow, it's earned, and it's intimate in a way that feels personal, not performative. When your lips press there, slightly, Then firmly, you are sending the message, I want to taste the parts of you that others overlook. And that changes everything. It doesn't take fireworks. It takes focus. A woman who knows how to slow down and give meaning to every inch of her kiss doesn't just capture his body, she captures his mind. She lives in his memory. Because that kiss didn't just happen to him. It awakened something in him. Let your fingers rest on the back of his neck while you kiss. Let your breath be warm and steady. Let silence wrap the moment. And as your lips travel across his jawline, remember, you're not trying to impress him. You're offering presence, attention, and the kind of feminine intimacy that rewires a man from the inside out. Because when you kiss a man like that, not with hunger, but with reverence, you don't just turn him on. You tune him in to his strength, to his stillness, to you. The whisper kiss is more than a gesture of intimacy. It's a psychological invitation. It's not just about contact. It's about communication. It blurs the line between speech and touch, between intention and instinct. It's not a loud declaration. It's a secret. A message delivered through lips that barely graze his skin, but leave a thunderous impact on his mind. Most kisses are felt on the surface, but the whisper kiss, it travels deeper. It begins in silence, in closeness, in the heavy stillness that happens when two people are so near that the world starts to fall away. It's the moment your breath brushes against his neck or the edge of his ear, and he realizes you're not just there to be kissed. You're there to leave something inside him. Not perfume, not lipstick, but a feeling that keeps playing on repeat long after your lips are gone. There's a reason the whisper kiss holds power over a man's body and mind, because it uses two of the most vulnerable access points to his nervous system, his hearing and his skin. You lean in so close he can feel the shape of your breath before he even hears a word, and in that moment, you own his attention. He's not thinking about his phone, his job, or tomorrow. He's listening, waiting, anchored in that single point of contact. And when your lips barely touch him as you whisper, just lightly enough to blur the line between sound and sensation, you bypass logic entirely. You go straight to feeling. You can whisper anything, something bold, something gentle, something simple like, I've been thinking about this all day, or something playful like, you have no idea what you do to me. What matters is not just the content, but the delivery, the pause, the breath, the softness. You're not just speaking, you're caressing with your words, and that creates a sensation no kiss on the mouth can match, because it doesn't just make him feel wanted, it makes him feel chosen. And if your lips graze his earlobe or his collarbone as you speak, if your voice vibrates softly through your chest while your breath warms his skin, you've created a moment that feels like forever. It's not about being loud, it's about being undeniable. A man will forget a long speech. He won't forget one sentence whispered into his skin in the middle of the night by a woman who knows the power of her voice. This kind of kiss, half breath, half sound, is where true feminine influence lives, because it's not demanding, it's inviting, it asks nothing but lingers. It doesn't grab, but it marks him. And the mark it leaves isn't physical, it's emotional. It's the feeling of being fully focused on, even for a few seconds, of being fully wanted, not as a reaction, but as a choice. And there's nothing more seductive to a man than that. You become unforgettable, not through force, but through finesse. through knowing when to pause, when to speak softly, when to let your lips do the talking without moving more than a breath. That's what the whisper kiss gives you. It's not just about building heat, it's about building trust. You're saying with every delicate word, you can let your guard down. I'm not here to overpower, I'm here to connect. Men crave this more than they can say. The tenderness, the attention, the quiet. In a world that shouts at them, pushes them, and expects them to be hard, this kind of kiss gives them permission to melt, to breathe, to surrender, not out of weakness, but because they finally feel safe to be fully present. So the next time you want to light a fire that doesn't burn out, don't just kiss his lips. Don't just touch his skin. Lean in close. Let your breath carry something deeper. Let your lips barely graze the curve of his ear or the line of his neck. Whisper something real, something raw, something only meant for him. Because the whisper kiss doesn't just touch his body, it touches the part of him no one else sees. And that's where forever begins. The lip tease is not about a kiss, it's about control. It's about restraint. It's the art of igniting fire without ever striking the match. It's how a woman uses her presence to command a man's full attention. Not with force, not with speed, but with precision. Because when you learn how to tease a man's lips, not claim them outright, you don't just stir his desire, you awaken his devotion. We live in a world where everything is rushed, quick gratification, fast pleasure, instant heat, but the lip tease rewrites that narrative. It invites patience. It whispers, not yet. And that whisper drives a man wild. Why? Because most kisses take. This one builds. It's a moment suspended in time, a space between breath and touch where tension becomes irresistible. It's not about what happens, it's about what doesn't. And in that not yet moment, everything becomes possible. You begin close, very close. Your face inches from his, your breath warming the space between you, your eyes locked on his mouth, then back to his eyes. You don't kiss him, not yet. You let him feel the kiss coming. You let anticipation stretch like a tight wire between your mouths. Your lips hover near his, so close he can almost taste you. But you pull back, slightly, slowly, a breath away. Maybe your lips brush his, but never fully land. You let the tension breathe. This is where power lives, not in possession, but in promise. You are giving him the gift of longing, of not knowing when, of not knowing how. And in that space, you rise above every woman who rushed. You become a mystery, a rhythm. A woman who dances with desire instead of diving into it too fast. The lip tease is especially potent because it rewires how a man sees you. He doesn't just feel aroused, he feels entranced. You're not begging for connection, you're offering a challenge. And masculine energy craves that, not to dominate, but to earn, to chase, to prove. And when your kiss becomes something he works toward, he values it far more deeply than anything freely given. Use your fingers to lightly trace his jaw. Let your lips brush near the corner of his mouth. Let them linger, barely touching, and then pull away. Let your breath land on his lower lip. Let your eyes say what your mouth doesn't. I could kiss you. I want to, but I'm choosing not to yet. And that is power. That's what a man remembers, because it's not just about turning him on, it's about turning him inward, making him hyper aware of every breath, every sensation, every second he's in your presence. What's beautiful about the lip tease is that it respects both of you. It's not about rushing past the beauty of foreplay, it's about expanding it. You're saying, let's not lose ourselves in the moment. Let's stretch it out until we can't take it anymore. And men, they don't forget that. They don't forget the woman who didn't just kiss. They remember the woman who made them wait for it, who made every nerve in their body lean toward her like gravity. That woman becomes unforgettable. And more than that, she becomes trusted. Because when you can hold that much tension without losing control, he knows he's with someone centered, someone grounded, someone in tune with herself. And that creates safety, not just for passion, but for depth. That kind of woman doesn't just make a man want her, she makes him want to show up better. So don't rush the kiss. Don't rush the night. Let your lips tease, tempt, hover, and then back away. Because when you make a man feel everything in the space before the kiss, you create a moment that echoes inside him long after the lights go out. You're not giving him a kiss. You're giving him a memory. And memories like that, they don't fade, they burn. The still kiss is a paradox. It is the quietest form of intimacy, yet it speaks the loudest to the soul. It doesn't chase excitement. It doesn't rush to prove anything. It holds, it waits, it invites. In a world where physical connection is often reduced to friction and speed, the still kiss reminds us that the deepest pleasure, real, emotional, soul-stirring pleasure, lives in the pause. Imagine this. Your lips meet his, and then nothing. No movement, no tongue, no escalation, just stillness. Just presence, just lips resting against lips, like a heartbeat waiting to be heard. At first it may seem simple, almost too simple, but stay there long enough and something shifts. The body quiets, the mind slows. The walls that both of you carry around begin to melt, not from force, but from stillness. Because the still kiss isn't about taking, it's about surrender. It's not about seduction in the traditional sense. It's about trust. You're saying to him, without words, we don't have to perform, we don't have to pretend, we don't even have to move. We just have to be here, together. And in a culture obsessed with noise, that kind of silence becomes sacred. That kind of kiss becomes a sanctuary. When you kiss a man like this, you're telling him something that he rarely hears. That he is enough, exactly as he is. You're not asking for more. You're not trying to escalate. You're not testing or performing. You're simply being with him. And that, for a man who lives in a world that constantly demands strength, output, and performance, is revolutionary. That kind of stillness heals. This kiss works best when you're close. Physically, emotionally, energetically, not just bodies pressed together, but hearts aligned. You look into his eyes, and when your lips touch, you stay. No rush, no intention to go somewhere else. You let the energy settle, you let your breath sink, and in that stillness, he begins to feel what no movement can give him: depth. He starts to notice things he usually misses. The softness of your lips, the quiet strength of your presence, the calm in your breath. He's not being kissed, he's being held. And it's not just physical. You're holding space for him, space to stop, space to be vulnerable, space to stop trying to figure everything out. That's what the still kiss does. It creates an emotional exhale in the middle of a physical moment. And what's powerful is that this kind of kiss doesn't demand submission. It invites surrender. It allows both of you to drop the masks and just be. It's sensual without being sexual. It's passionate without being aggressive. It's intimate in the most human way because it touches something most kisses never reach: the soul. What you're really offering in the still kiss is safety. You're showing that you're not rushing him into arousal or performance. You're not pulling him into something faster, louder, hotter. You're pulling him into something truer, into a kind of love that doesn't need fireworks to be powerful. Because when a man feels that kind of safety with you, he doesn't just want you, he begins to trust you. And that's the foundation for a connection that lasts, not just for a night, but for a lifetime. You'll notice too that in the still kiss, time bends. What feels like seconds might be minutes. And what feels like stillness is actually a deep wave of sensation. Because when you stop moving, you start feeling. You feel the warmth of his breath, the slow rhythm of his heartbeat, the way his body softens under your stillness. And he feels you, not as a body, but as a presence, something grounding, as something real. That's the kind of woman a man never forgets. The one who knew that stillness could be more powerful than any technique. The one who kissed him like the world had already stopped and made him believe that it had. Because in your stillness, he finds freedom. In your presence, he finds peace. And in your silence, he hears the truth he didn't know he was looking for. So many women try to impress through motion, through seduction, through speed, through doing more. But the woman who understands the still kiss doesn't do more. She is more. She brings depth, calm, gravity. She slows the world down, not with effort, but with essence. And that kind of energy doesn't fade. It lingers. It roots itself into a man's memory like a song that won't leave. So the next time you're close to him, don't rush to ignite. Don't rush to prove anything. Just lean in. Let your lips find his. And then be still. Let him feel the quiet power of your presence. Let him feel held. Let him feel chosen. Let him rest in you. Because the still kiss doesn't whisper, I want you. It says, with every breathless moment, I see you. And once a man is seen like that, he never forgets who showed him. The aftershock kiss isn't the beginning of passion. It's what remains after passion has stormed through. It's the silence after the crescendo, the echo of something sacred that just happened between two people who allowed themselves to fully feel. It's not about intensity. It's about intimacy. It's the quiet electricity that lingers after bodies collide, after breath is stolen, after connection has been claimed. And in that lingering, that's where you find the soul of foreplay stretched beyond the physical, where a man doesn't just feel wanted, he feels known. Too often we think the kiss is a spark meant to start something, but the aftershock kiss teaches us that sometimes the real fire begins after the heat, after the movement, after the moans and sighs, after he thinks it's all done. You lean in again, not to reignite, but to deepen. You kiss him like a whisper that says, I'm still here, I'm not going anywhere. You're not just desired, you're held. It's not a kiss that begs for more. It's a kiss that gives more. Not in speed or heat, but in presence. And that presence is everything. It's what separates women who are memorable from women who are magnetic. This kiss is your exhale, his grounding. It's where the truth shows up. Unrushed, unforced, undeniable. The aftershock kiss happens when things have gone quiet, when the fire's been felt, when breath has slowed and bodies lie still. But you don't turn away. You don't close off. Instead, you lean in, gently, slowly, intentionally. And when your lips meet his again, it's not with the urgency of desire, it's with the power of connection. It's a soft press, a still touch. Sometimes it barely even feels like a kiss. It feels like a vow. Because in that moment, you're not just connecting lips, you're stitching hearts. You're saying, even after all that, I still want to be close to you. And that hits differently, especially for a man, because so many men are used to being wanted only for what they can do. But the aftershock kiss says, I still want you when there's nothing to perform, when there's nothing to prove. And that is holy ground. What makes this kiss unforgettable is how it catches him off guard. He thinks the moment is over. He thinks the waves have calmed. But then you arrive again, tender, grounded, soft. And that unexpected return touches something far deeper than lust. It touches the part of him that aches to be kept, not just captured in desire, but kept in devotion. And the beauty of this kiss is that it requires no performance, no pressure. You don't need to say anything. In fact, silence is the language. This is where your energy does the speaking. This is where your truth meets his soul without needing to explain itself. You don't need to convince him to stay. You don't need to be loud. You just need to be there fully, softly, steadily. Men crave this, even if they don't know how to ask for it. They crave the kind of kiss that doesn't demand their strength, but honors their softness. The kind that doesn't test their masculinity, but invites their humanity. And that's what the aftershock kiss does. It says, I see all of you, not just the part that takes control, but the part that longs to rest. And when you offer that space, you become the woman he never forgets. Because you don't just give him pleasure, you give him peace. And peace, for a man who's been at war with the world all day, is the most seductive thing on earth. The aftershock kiss also carries a strange kind of magic. It awakens things you thought were already awake. It reveals emotions that didn't surface during the heat. Sometimes tears come, not of sadness, but of release, because your kiss becomes a mirror, a reflection of everything he didn't have words for. And when he realizes that you're not just present during the passion, but still thereafter, something inside him softens, walls lower, bonds deepen. You want to know what keeps a man coming back? This, not the wild nights, not the seductive moans, but the aftermath, when all has been said, all has been felt, and you still reach for him, still press your lips to his, still remind him, we're not finished, we're just beginning. And when you do this consistently, when you become a woman who doesn't disappear after the peak, you become a force in his life, not a fleeting thrill, but a foundation. A woman who doesn't just stir desire, but anchors it. A woman who knows that aftershocks are sometimes more powerful than the original quake, because they linger, they echo, they change the shape of the land they touch. This kiss also teaches you something. It teaches you to slow down, to stay, to rest in connection instead of chasing the next high. It reminds you that intimacy isn't performance, it's presence. And when you master that, your entire energy shifts. You no longer chase closeness, you create it. You no longer fear being forgotten because you've become unforgettable, not through drama, but through depth. So let the aftershock kiss be your signature. Let it be the kiss you give when the world thinks you should pull away. Let it be your act of rebellion against the fast, the shallow, the fleeting. Let it be the way you say, I'm still here, and I always will be. And here's the truth. A woman who knows how to kiss like this doesn't just make him want her for one night. She makes him want to build something. She becomes the ache in his chest, the calm in his chaos, the kiss he chases in his dreams, not because of how it began, but because of how she stayed. That's the power of the aftershock kiss. It doesn't demand attention. It earns devotion. And once he's tasted that, he won't want anything less. Most people think foreplay ends when the body is ready, but the truth is the body follows the heart, and the heart responds to presence, connection, intention, the kind that doesn't rush, the kind that sees, feels, and stays. These kisses weren't just about arousing him. They were about awakening something much deeper, a memory in his bones that tells him, this is what real intimacy feels like. Because at the end of the day, what a man truly longs for isn't just fire, it's meaning. A woman who knows how to kiss with purpose creates more than pleasure. She creates imprint, and that imprint, it lasts long after the lips part, long after the room grows quiet. It lingers in his breath, his thoughts, his choices. It makes him feel not just wanted, but witnessed. So if you've ever wondered how to stand out, how to be unforgettable, not through games, not through perfection, but through depth, it starts here with the courage to slow down, the confidence to lead with emotion, the wisdom to know that real desire is never rushed, and true connection lives in the spaces most people skip over. You don't need to shout to be powerful. You don't need to perform to be unforgettable. You don't need to chase to be chosen. You need only to show up with lips that speak more than words, with presence that moves beyond the surface, and with a heart that says, I'm not here to impress, I'm here to connect. Because a woman who kisses like that isn't just remembered, she's never replaced.